Work. Work. I'm just saying that word, and I'm asking you just to reflect on what that means. For me, this is quite a personal video, one that's maybe more personal than others. Without going into too many personal details, I'm unemployed right now. And admittedly, this is something I've struggled with for a long time, on and off. I've had paid work, I've had work experience. Just messing around with an incense stick here. I spent 6 months working in China. I've been a waiter on numerous occasions, a junior clerk, a charity canvasser. I've done a wide range of different things. But financial instability is a problem I've had for a very long time, and it does cause serious problems in my life. I couldn't make a video like this if I wasn't candid about my own situation, and that is the truth. I have struggled with this in a very big way, but rather than covering all the complex issues in this one video, there's just some things I'd like to talk about. I guess this video is reaching out to other people who find themselves in a similar situation, or perhaps those who may not understand why people like me don't get into a more stable position. So I'm trying to clarify it. You know, job searching is a very soul-destroying thing, and there's slightly different methods around the world. There's different programs and so on, but fundamentally unemployment is shit wherever it is. And that's not to say that having a job is always much better. There's jobs where you get exploited, bullied, or there's a lot of issues in terms of work hours and that sort of thing. So I don't believe that. I believe work is a necessary evil. Let's face it, 80% of people do not like their jobs. But it's a bit like money, it's a necessary evil. Work is necessary to provide yourself with stability, some sort of work. For me, I'm always concerned people would look at someone like me and think, oh, why is he not getting work, is he lazy, etc. And I want to sort of reach out to those people and try and get you to understand. I'm not asking you to agree with me, I'm just putting some thoughts out there. Firstly, the actual process of job searching can be a real pain. When you go to website after website and they lead you around in circles, that is a big problem. For example, you may get a search bar that asks you to type in the city that you live in, so that there's a radius of available jobs. You'll type in your city, in my case it's Sunderland in North East England, and there may be a few results, and then it will start broadening that out. So unless you drive, there's no way to commute to another city. I don't drive. To drive requires a driving license, which requires money and tests and so on. Then you narrow down the sort of job you're looking for, which itself can be a real endeavour, because you have to consider, what am I skilled in, what sort of job would I not absolutely hate, and I am going to avoid jobs that I've another video, it's one of my most watched actually, about the title is The Shittiness of Being a Waiter. I may change the title, but anyway, in that I talk about the reasons why waitering is such a soul-destroying job. So there is a lot of jobs available in the catering industry, there usually is, but it's an area that I believe people can be very easily exploited. So that I want to avoid the plague. A lot of jobs that you apply for on websites, you'll find that certain criteria is needed that you just don't have. Now, I'm someone who's had quite a lot of life experience. I'm an intelligent person, I'm university educated, although I didn't graduate. Um, I've met thousands of people in my life. I've had a lot of life experiences. Nevertheless, there's some jobs I simply cannot apply for because I don't meet the criteria. And a lot of jobs right now that are available in the UK are managerial positions which require a minimum of 8 to 10 years experience. So what I'm trying to highlight here is the number of barriers that come up when you're job searching. And then of course there's websites that fail. You apply online and it brings you back to square one because you have to send an email clarification, it doesn't work, you have to resend a password, this sort of thing. All in all, it can be very stressful. It's very tedious, needless to say, and I don't think we should be, as unemployed people, I don't think we should be frightened of saying exactly what we think. It is tedious. I think a lot of people are reluctant to say that because there's prejudice out there like, oh, you're lazy, so that's why you find it tedious. But I guarantee anyone would. It's just the way it is. Applying for jobs is not fun. It's not. Now, I can predict that conservative-minded people or those who are prejudiced against those in my position would be very much like, well, it's your responsibility to do this. I agree. I've never blamed anyone else for my own employment situation. I've always responded strongly to prejudice that me or others face in terms of lazy dole scrounger, that sort of thing, and I actually set up a group on Facebook. You're welcome to check it out if you use Facebook. Unfair Generalising of the Unemployed International. So please check that out and I'll accept any requests. I've mentioned other videos where I don't like people wallowing in victimhood for something that affects them. So I'd be a hypocrite if I was to say that, it is true, unemployed people, we do have responsibility. And I'm not blaming anybody else for my situation. We do have responsibility to try our best to get paid work, right? But what I'm trying to do is point out that it is really not as simple as people think. It really makes me angry when people who do have the advantage of being in a well-paid job, or at least a job where they have stability, and they've maybe had that job for years, they don't have a clue what it's like signing on or job searching. They don't have a clue how soul destroying that is, because frankly when you do get rejected time and time again, it kills your motivation. And people say, oh, you should be applying for 5 jobs a day, and they throw out these targets. That's all very well, but the simple reality is in some places there are not that many vacancies, such as my city. And this isn't excuses, this is just the reality, this is just facts. If I was making excuses, I would be saying, oh, it's hopeless, I'm not going to try. That would be an excuse. All I'm doing is laying out the reality of the challenges that people in my situation face. This is a thing that causes me to lose sleep. I actually upload videos to give myself a sense of purpose, even though it gives me no money, that maybe someone on the other side of the world is watching this. You could be in Canada, the United States, Chile, Australia, Malaysia, watching my video. For me, that's something that's significant. That my opinion, my views, my feelings are being seen on the other side of the world. I do like the idea of that. So thank goodness for YouTube. But work is a necessary evil. As unemployed people, we have to accept that it's something that you can't fight the system. And I'm starting to sound like an anarchist here, but a world without work. You see, there's this issue of unemployment, and places that have high unemployment have high crime, high levels of depression and so on. That's all true, but a lot of that is down to the necessity of work. Now, if work itself was never a necessity, and I'm realistic, I know this is never going to happen, I'm just dreaming here, I think the world would be a much happier place, because most people don't like their jobs, let's face it. Jobs, work, is just something to, and by the way, I strongly reject the view that having a job makes you a good person. I really hate that attitude. All it does is put you in a better position. It gives you more security. That's all. It's just a phony excuse to. So I hate the expression self-esteem. Like, oh, you'll get self-esteem if you get a job. I have self-esteem in the sense that I respect myself. I'm frustrated with my situation. I'm depressed, but I don't look down on myself. So when people say it'll give you self-esteem, I think what they're really saying is it'll give us an idea of looking at you in esteem. It's a term that's used all the time and I really hate it. So what I'm doing in this video is not trying to change the world. I'm just sharing my thoughts on how soul destroying it can be, trying to find a job. You have to consider that if you have a job and you're wondering about people in this position, try imagine what it's like being rejected time and time again when you do apply for work. People are not robots, we're emotional creatures, and it does kill motivation, it really does. And that's not an excuse. Of course I have a responsibility to keep trying. All I'm saying is that you have to be realistic and understand what this is like. Financial insecurity has to be one of the worst feelings, really. Apart from maybe physical pain, I can't think of anything that's much worse, really. Emotional loss, yeah, okay. But because money is so important in this world, not having it is terrifying, quite frankly. And I admit this is something that causes me huge anxiety in my personal life. And I'm an ambitious person, very ambitious. So there's not a day goes by when I don't think of my ambitions, but at the same time there's not a day goes by when I don't think about how damn hard this is. I could choose to sign on for government welfare. I don't at the moment. I could do that, and the reason I'm not doing it is nothing to do with guilt, because I'm not conservative. I don't believe. I think the people who are in a situation where they're trying their level best and they need some support should get it. But so that's not the reason I'm not signing on. The reason I'm not signing on is because of workfare in this country. If I signed on, after a while I'd be put under a workfare scheme, which is an abomination in my opinion. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, I think you can relate to what I'm saying if you're unemployed. And if you've never been unemployed and you're someone who judges, I would just say you could be smug now, but there may come a time when something could happen in the company that you work for. It could go under, you could be made redundant. You can never know what happens in life to maybe put you in a situation where you are struggling. Life isn't predictable. Life isn't a guarantee. So my message to those people is you can look down on us now, but there is no guarantee that you'll always be secure. And then maybe you'll empathise a bit more, or at least not be so judgmental. So in this video I'm not asking people to feel sorry for me. This isn't about victimhood. It's not about saying, oh, I'm in a terrible situation, please feel sorry for me. I'm just trying to get people to understand how hard this is. And I do hope there's a day I can upload videos when I'm in a much better position, whereby I'm not doing it partly to give myself a sense of purpose. And I do believe it does do that, but it is one reason I upload videos. So I think people in this position can relate to what I'm saying. I've covered more or less everything I want to say, but that's it. It's not easy. Because the number of barriers that you face when job searching is just soul destroying. I.e., you don't have the experience for work, you need a driving license, the available job is a managerial position, you name it. I'm sure people can relate to what I'm talking about. Just before I round this video up, just a reminder about that group I run, Unfair Generalising of the Unemployed International. Just type it into Facebook. I'm the admin. Feel free to send a request and I'll accept you. And thank you for watching this video.